Hello, welcome. All right, no curriculum. What is it? So, there are three types of curriculum. Our first is implicit. Implicit is defined to be traditionally publicly announced programs of study. These can include our core subjects such as mathematics, science, English, social studies, art, just to name a few. This is curriculum that is formally taught and schools outwardly advertise. Then we have implicit curriculum. This includes values and expectations generally not included in formal curriculum, but of course it is still learned by students as a part of their school experience. This includes things such as punctuality, respecting authority, learning to have a sense of personal responsibility, and learning excellence and or failure can be measured in increments of A, B, C, D, and F. Implicit curriculum is also sometimes defined as the unintended lessons. So we have these two, but of course we have our spotlight of the day, no curriculum, yay! No curriculum is simply the information that schools do not teach. Simple, right? Well, no curriculum can be separated into two major aspects. The first being the intellectual process. This means the students are missing out on different ways of thinking. For example, visual thinking, auditory thinking, metamorphic thinking, and synthetic thinking. It is said that, quote, these styles of processing are less likely to be reflected in school curriculum that are processes such as logical, analysis, or deductive reasoning. The other major aspect is subject matter. These are subjects that are not typically taught but are just as important as any other topics shown in explicit curriculum. This includes topics like economics, law, psychology, and anthropology. This also includes subtopics left out of the broad topics in explicit curriculum. An example of this subset is, or can be, the teaching of the civil rights movement. We often talk about the African civil rights movement, which is wonderful. I doubt anyone is arguing that. However, the civil rights movement was huge, and it is rare that students are taught about how truly broad it is. Rarely do we hear about the Native American civil rights movement or the Latinx civil rights movement known as the Chicano movement, and the feminist movement is rarely ever mentioned in school. Okay, what else can I tell you? Well, there are some effects. Schools many times try to avoid certain feelings in the classroom, so content is meant to avoid these feelings when teaching. Sometimes students miss out on attitudes, values, and emotions. Things that we need to keep in mind are that sometimes curriculum shifts based on what a specific educator believes is, quote, educationally significant, unquote. With that in mind, here I have 3 questions I want you to think about while we wait for a trip back to Zoom. I took a questionable amount of time getting this video together, so please make sure to pause, to read everything carefully, and type or write down your answers for when we get back. I really hope that we can get these conversations flowing, so thank you for your time and goodbye.